So what's up guys, welcome back. And in this video, without much ado, I want just to roll in directly. So in the previous video, you remember we were handling a login, and we at some point wanted at least to show user some error. And if you see, I made it because you see, when I log in with bad credentials, then this error comes. So you might want to push this error somewhere here, and I want to show you that real quick first before I go to what I wanted to do. So you see over here, errors comes and they are always in form of an array. So I think you can check over here. So you can check over here. So you see non-field errors are always an array, and each object of the array has message and code. So this code I'm using as a key because I'll be making a loop, and these I'm using as a message. So I think let me show you that real quick first. So that is also applicable for registration. So you see I made a loop where I loop the errors that I made over here. So you see I made an array that would be accepting errors, and then I looped the errors that were over here, and then I just ended up putting the errors inside the data. So and then I looped over here. So I hope that can be clear what is happening. So always this code is available in the GitHub. Go check out if you want any of this code, because the registration is basically the same. The only thing you need to change is the way you handle the storing of this key. So that is it for that part. In this video, our main thing was to handle the homepage getting of these content we wanted. So let us just go very fast and make a way to get the data. So basically this is a query we want to be making. This is the query we want to be making, and you see it returns our to-dos with at least some important information. You could decide other information you want, but that is it for that part for me. So let me go very fast here and show you how. So let's first import graphql from graphene tags. So and then let's make the query, which is, guys, what is happening, guys? GQL, and then something like that, and then just over here paste it over. So this is our query that we want to use it. So you remember us setting the app inside Apollo client. You remember we did set the Apollo provider inside our main. So Apollo provider gives us allows us to use an object definition called Apollo. So inside here, just the same way you will put data, components, names, props, and such, you get additional thing called Apollo. So you just type Apollo, type around Apollo, and then it's just an object as not always. And then now here you define what you want to do, which in our case it's simple. It's just to fetch the data which we wanted. So you always define what you want, the data that will be stored inside our data. So let's just make our data first, which is always an object, a function, and then it returns whatever we want, which in our case it will be to-dos. Then just over there do that. So here our query is over here. So here we are telling Apollo we want it will, so to-dos. So whenever you define this is exactly what will be replaced inside your data. So you say what you are trying to fetch are to-dos, and then you just put full colon, like it's an object again. Obviously you do like defining something like an object, and then here you have to define your query, which in our case is just the query over there, and I think we forgot this. So that is it for that. Now let us go over here, homepage, our home page. Let us pass our to-dos to be to-dos. Yeah, to-dos to be to-dos, and then let us go to home page. For each of these to-do, which we expect to be to-dos, at least to be something like it's an array by default. Yeah, it's an array by default. So they were somewhere here. I'm not sure. List group. So yeah, I loop over here. So I do to-dos. No, I do v4 for each v4, and then to-do of to-dos, and then just do key, which is a binding for key is equals to to-do.id. So, and then for each list group item, here you want to put the title. Okay, now you see I made to-dos that actually loops over to-dos that we sent over here as props, and then for each to-do the key is ID, and then title is set over there, date time is shown over here, place is over here, and then ID is over here. So that is basically what I did. I just mapped to-dos as a props to that component which were over here. Now let's check. I just saved. Now let's go over to the page. So you realize that at some point your page might just decide to log you out, and this is what happened. So you see now I have one. I had to go over here and change some to-dos to one of the users, which I know is supposed to be these according to what I saw happening. So let me map more to-dos to him and then save, then just refresh. You see more to-dos are mapped to the user. So that is basically how we get to-dos over here. So I will not be showing you how to create to-dos, because the process of creating to-do is basically the same as what we did. You just need to come over here, make the mutation, and then at least copy it. I normally find a way. I normally find it easier to create queries over here than over there, and then just do create to do, and then you just pass in the values over here and just go and map it over there. So in the next video I will start showing. So you could add here a form to create to-dos just the same way we did for login, and that can be a challenge that also can make you, at least challenge you to do some things. But for the next video I'll be showing you subscriptions, which is something really interesting, and I think you may like to know over here. I may not implement it in Vue because of time, but at least if I show you in Django, then I think you may know how to do it. So guys, let's meet in the next video, and please don't forget to subscribe, because that video might come a bit later. So please subscribe so that you will be notified, because that is really something you might do a lot of research before you get stumbling and knowing some of the things. So guys, goodbye, and let's meet in the next video.